Is it time for a Chiefs wide receiver reunion? Well, a former Chiefs wideout was put on the trading block today, and should Brett Veach, the Chiefs GM, should consider a reunion? Should they trade for this receiver? We're going to talk about all that and more on today's Chiefs Report. Plus, we're going to give you a Travis Kelce injury update based on basically what we heard from today's press conference from Andy Reid. All that and more coming up on today's show. You're watching the Chiefs Report by Chat Sports. Glad you chose to join us. My name is Chase Andrews, and I am so excited for you to be here because we got a lot of juicy information today, with the first one being Mecole Hardman. That's the wide receiver that could be a potential reunion for the Chiefs as the Jets are looking at trading him. This was put out by Jeremy Fowler today on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. The Jets are looking at options for Mecole Hardman, including a potential trade per league sources. Now, he was inactive this last Sunday, and I got to be honest, he has been terrible in 2023. The Mahomes effect on him is shining brighter than maybe any other receiver in the league that left the Chiefs. And I'm going to say it, this is bad. This is just flat out bad. One target, one reception, though, for 6 yards. But the biggest thing about Mecole Hardman is that he can perform in gadget plays. He has the athletic ability, and he's super young. He's 25 years old. He went and tested out free agency, went on the Jets, who already had a pretty decently stacked wide receiver core, was going to play with Aaron Rodgers. Well, 4 plays later, it ended up being Zach Wilson. Did not work out well for Mecole Hardman, but don't let these stats fool you. Don't let them, because Mahomes, well, he can make magic happen. We've seen what Mahomes can do with some of the wide receivers in the league, and we've seen it firsthand with Mecole Hardman. I mean, if you look at his stats with the Chiefs, they are absurdly better than it was with the Jets. Now, I know, it's only been 6 games with the New York Jets, and you can't really base a whole stat line off of this when he's playing 16, 17 games. But even in 2022, when he played 8 games, 25 receptions for 297, and then the big thing, 4 touchdowns in 8 games. I mean, this dude is a gadget play expert, and if you look at this Chiefs wide receiver depth chart, there's obviously not a clear number one. And although maybe Mecole Hardman may be a lateral move, it does open up the playbook a little more. We've seen Kadarius Toney almost fill that Mecole Hardman role. We've seen him on jet sweeps. We've seen him kind of be running all over the field, taking direct snaps. There's a lot of interesting plays that Andy Reid can do with Kadarius Toney. Well, that would be doubled if you add Mecole Hardman. Now, before I give my take on whether or not the Chiefs should trade for Mecole Hardman, I want to hear from you in today's comment section. Let me know if you would trade for the former Chiefs wide receiver, type T for trade, or type P for pass. I want to know, get it in the comments right now. This is going to be the pinned comment. So get down there, get your opinion there, because I want to know what Chiefs Kingdom is feeling on. It's a former Chief, and he has had proven success with Patrick Mahomes. Let me know what you're thinking. Again, type T for trade or type P for pass. Okay, here's what a projected trade would look like with the Chiefs and the New York Jets, and kind of how this would go down. Now, this is what I think would be about the asking price. Given he's not really playing, and given the Jets are kind of in an awkward scenario where their potential to get Aaron Rodgers back this season is there, but they don't know if they will. They're not doing great. Is Aaron Rodgers going to come back next season? Is Zach Wilson their quarterback of the future? We don't really know. So I think the Chiefs could trade away a 5th-round pick, get back Mecole Hardman, and a 7th-round pick. And I think that'd be probably pretty snazzy right there for both sides. Jets, you get an extra 5th-round pick. You're just giving up a 7th round, and Mecole Hardman, which is a guy that you are not using. The only thing is, I just don't know if it's worth it. It's a lateral move. I mentioned it here just moments ago. There's not really much that you're gaining with Mecole Hardman because Kadarius Toney has filled that role. Now, I know Kadarius Toney isn't exactly Mecole Hardman. He doesn't have kind of the agility that Mecole has. The speed is there, but definitely not the agility. But you need a true wide receiver one. And why waste this and potentially lose cap? Because in that proposed trade, you're not trading away any players. You're just taking on a contract. That's not going to work with the cap space. And you need a wide receiver one. I mentioned it. I'm going to say it again and again. You need a wide receiver one. I'm just going to say hold off for now. But there is one way where this could work. What if you traded Mecole Hardman and maybe you gave away an actual player? Now, I'm not saying give away anybody good, like even Felix Anudike-Uzomah, a first-round pick. You aren't trading away something like that. But maybe just see who you got in the box, see what the Jets are asking for. If it frees up some cap space, well, why not do it? I think it could be fun. I think it could be awesome. But maybe there's a different reunion that would be a better decision for the Chiefs when it comes to trading around. Now, we're going to talk about that in just a minute. But before that, I'm going to tell you about PrizePicks. See, PrizePicks is the daily fantasy sports app of my choosing, and it should be yours as well because guess what? We got a special discount code. If you go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS, you're going to get a first deposit match of up to $100. PrizePicks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Players can choose from a vast selection of sports stat types not offered anywhere else. You can even pick in-game projections after game has already started, which includes halves, quarters, periods, and more. And I tell you, I've been playing PrizePicks recently, and I don't know why I waited so long. Thursday night football with the Chiefs and Broncos. Oh yeah, we're going more all day, baby. If you're not doing more, then you ain't living right. Pacheco over a half a touchdown. That's the lock. No way he doesn't score one. As look, it says pass rush, or receptions. So that means even if Andy Reid decides to get tricky with it and says, let's have Pacheco throw a ball, or hey, let's go receive a touchdown, guess what? You're getting that with the more easy. He's gotten 3 touchdowns in the last 3 games. That's a touchdown per game right there. He's getting another one against the Broncos. Jerick McKinnon, 24.5. I expect to beat down this Thursday. You're going to get your second string back in there. Plus, that's rush and receiving yards. No way he doesn't get at least 25, right? I'm going more there. Now, here's where I put my money where my mouth is. Patrick Mahomes, 273.5 on the more for his passing yards. This is a tough one because I don't know how long he's going to be out there, but I'm throwing in there because I want to do the power play. I want to get 5 times my money. And this way, I put in 5, I'm getting 25. Man, it's a good deal. Go do it now. It's the easiest way to play. You pick 2 players, you pick more or less on their prize projections, and then boom, you 2 clicks, you have it. Your entry is in. Again, get a $100 deposit match by going to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS. Shout out to PrizePicks, the sponsor of today's video. We really appreciate you. And make sure to go check them out. They make daily fantasy sports so easy. All right, I mentioned just moments ago the other reunion that could happen. Well, that could be with Frank Clark as the Broncos. Well, they already traded away one guy. That was Randy Gregory. What about if they traded Frank Clark, who I have a little juiced on here in a moment, but let's look at his stats here. So, first of all, this guy was pretty impressive with the Chiefs. Overall, he looked pretty good, and I know this defense is overall solid as it's been, but you can't tell me you're not going to add a guy who has really, over the past 4 seasons, averaging around 5 to 6 sacks per year. You add that, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. It's just makes no sense why you wouldn't even think about adding him. And I think the biggest thing is those forced fumbles as well. A guy that can really make sure to get the quarterback. But there's also one more thing that makes this an extra special signing. You see, that's Chris Jones' best friend. We talked about this during the whole Chris Jones saga, that Frank Clark, well, that was a big reason for his holdout. You bring him back? Boy, oh boy, you may have a potential of signing Chris Jones. I know the cap space is kind of awkward with him, but hey, guess what? That would make Chris Jones happy. Well, maybe it makes him happy to stay in Kansas City for a long term and maybe even take a potential pay cut. We'll have to see, but either way, Frank Clark, that'd be pretty nice. Broncos are in a fire sale mode. Why not go out and ask for him and see, hey, what would you take? We want to get him back. Let me know in the comments today who would be the better reunion of these 2 former Chiefs, and who would you rather have? Would it be Mecole Hardman? Well, then type MH. Or would it be Frank Clark? Then type FC. Depending on what you want here, let me know in the comments. Again, Frank Clark, defense guy. Defense has been good. Mecole Hardman, offense. At least wide receivers have been questionable. Who would you rather have on the Chiefs? Let me know in the comment section today, as I think this is a very interesting question. All right, coming up here on the Chiefs Report, we're going to talk about Travis Kelce, as Andy Reid is in his press conference today, talked about whether or not Travis Kelce was going to practice today and if he's going to play on Thursday. But before we get into that and that update, I've got a challenge for all of Chiefs Kingdom, as I want you to name this late, great Chiefs player. Look at that face mask right there, the one bar across the nose. Oh yeah, name this late, great Chiefs player. We're going to give you the answer later in the show, so make sure you get in the comments and let me know who this is in today's comments. Okay, Andy Reid had his press conference today, and that's where we're going to start with this, as he said that everyone will practice. Now, what does everyone mean? Well, that specifically is entitled to 4 players that got hurt in the Vikings game. Pete Sweeney tweeted this out with those 4 players, with Nick Bolton, Mike Danna, Travis Kelce, and Drue Tranquill. Now, Nick Bolton hasn't played in the last couple weeks. Mike Danna injured his ribs, but he did get the final sack. That was the game-winning sack on the final play against the Vikings. And Drue Tranquill, well, he came back into the game as well against the Vikings, just like Travis Kelce. All those guys will practice, and I think the biggest thing there is Travis Kelce, obviously. Well, then it was, what is Travis Kelce's injury? What's going to happen? Well, our friend Andy Reid talked a little bit more about it and kind of gave us an insider information. He said this today, quote, "He's feeling a little bit better. I'm just going to see how he does. We'll see where it goes." Now, this is where I get unpopular. Don't play him. Don't. I know, tight end, amazing guy, best player probably besides Patrick Mahomes on the offense. Exactly why you don't play him. You're playing the Broncos. You're playing the Broncos. There is no reason to risk that in this game. Just don't play him. Let him rest. Noah Gray has been a solid fill. Yeah, you lost the one game he didn't play, but that was against the Lions, not the Broncos. Maybe have him available. It just doesn't make sense. That's my unpopular take of the day. I just don't think you play him. No reason to risk injury, especially with that quick week. But that's my take. Do you agree with me? I want you to let me know. Type Y for yes if you think you would play Kelce on Thursday, or type in for no if you think that, nah, I agree, Jace. There's no reason to play him. Don't risk hurting him even more and potentially losing him for more time. Get in the comments, type Y for yes, or type in for no on whether or not you would play Travis Kelce against the Broncos on Thursday Night Football. All right, we mentioned just a couple moments ago that it was a challenge to name this late, great Chiefs player. Well, guess what? We're going to give you the answer in just a moment, so last second, get in those comments and let me know who this is, because this is Buck Buchanan, defensive tackle from 1963 to 1975, Grambling State alum and a member of both the College Football Hall of Fame and the National Football League Hall of Fame. One of the top players in Chiefs history. Let me know if you got it right. Happy you did. And if you didn't, hey, just start studying up on your Chiefs history, because we're going to help you out with that here too. Make sure you're subscribed. I really appreciate it if you made it to the end of the video. It means a lot to me, and I'm glad you're here. Please subscribe. Join our channel. We're going to have more videos just like this one and more content for you on the Chiefs. YouTube.com/ChiefsTV. But for today, that does it. Peace out.